to 6 insurrectionists, many of them members of extremist groups and violent street gangs. This makes no sense. They're firing the best criminal prosecutors in Washington because they did their jobs against people like him. Congratulations, buddy. That's how the Nazis got started. You go have your own rally, all right?
As Donald Trump's approval rating continues to hit new historic lows every single day, the frequency with which he makes insane posts on Truth Social only continues to go up. We know this is because Donald Trump is really losing it at this point and trying to distract us from his failing economy with anything he can get to shift our focus. And the latest example of that is shifting our focus to a broken economy, to a broken judicial system, because Donald Trump has just decided he is going to take the most absurd and illegal step yet in his violation of the Constitution, and doing so in an attack on President Biden and those who tried to hold him accountable. It is incredibly scary, and we are going to get into all of it. But before we do, if I could quickly ask you to leave a like on this video, and if you haven't already, and you enjoy our channel, to hit that subscribe button. It goes a long way, and it really does mean a lot to me now. Before we can get into Donald Trump's Truth Social post, I want to add a little bit of context to what he said. His assault on our Department of Justice with Jamie Raskin right here.
In the monarchies, the king is law, but in the democracies, the law is king. But amazingly, we now have a president in the 21st century who believes he's a king. And he believes that the king is the law once again. The first 7 weeks of this radical experiment in neo-monarchism has been a disaster for the rule of law and for the Constitution and for the First Amendment. There have been 120 federal cases filed against Donald Trump all over the country, and he has lost already in more than 40 courtrooms across the land where temporary restraining orders and preliminary injunctions have been issued against his lawless attack on the Constitution. This Department of Justice started out by empowering law enforcement. The original Department of Justice started out by empowering law enforcement against insurrectionists and extremists. This DOJ has started out by empowering insurrectionists and extremists against law enforcement. President pardon, I'm sure you think so, because President Trump pardoned more than 1,500 insurrectionists.
God bless America! God bless Donald Trump!
All right. President Trump pardoned more than 1,500 insurrectionists, hundreds of whom were extremists who violently assaulted our police officers with stun guns, chemical spray, batons, broken furniture, fire extinguishers, and Trump flags. This Department of Justice has gone even further. And maybe he's got a pardon. That's why he's so excited today. I don't know. But this Department of Justice has worked aggressively to get courts to dismiss unrelated criminal charges against pardoned January 6 convicts. There are people who were pardoned on January 6 who have had cocaine charges. January 6 felons who've had cocaine charges, drug charges, gun charges, sawed-off shotgun charges, hand grenade charges against them dismissed by this Department of Justice. And that was never covered by the original pardon. At Trump's Department of Justice, law and order means Trump will twist the law for you if you take orders from him. And that's, of course, what they did with Mayor Adams. And maybe I'll take a break here and I'll have something to say at the end about the Adams prosecution and the other people who've been let go as they've barreled through a pro-corruption agenda. at the Department of Justice. But let me say this. Donald Trump has sacked more than a dozen of DC's best career criminal prosecutors because they worked to successfully convict January 6 insurrectionists, many of them members of extremist groups and violent street gangs. This makes no sense. They're firing the best criminal prosecutors in Washington because they did their jobs against people like him. Congratulations, buddy. That's how the Nazis got started. You go have your own rally, all right? All right. Now, I would now like to go to our originally scheduled program, if this gentleman would allow us to. I'm introducing Sean Brennan. I'm introducing Sean Brennan, who's a former assistant United States attorney.
Donald Trump spoke almost exclusively on the campaign trail about how Joe Biden was weaponizing the DOJ against him, how he was being unfairly prosecuted. Obviously, all of those things being a lie. But immediately once becoming president, he snapped into action, making sure he was doing the exact things he was accusing President Biden of having done. And the latest example in this truth social meltdown we saw in the middle of the night from Donald Trump shows just how far he is willing to go in breaking the law to attack his political enemies. And we can see that right here. Trump wrote the pardons that sleepy Joe Biden gave to the unselect committee of political thugs, and many others are hereby declared void, vacant, and of no further force or effect because of the fact that they were done by autop pen. In other words, Joe Biden did not sign them, but more importantly, he did not know anything about them. The necessary pardoning documents were not explained to or approved by Biden. He knew nothing about them, and the people that did may have committed a crime. Therefore, those on the unselect committee who destroyed and deleted all evidence obtained during their 2-year witch hunt of me and many other innocent people should fully understand that they are subject to investigation at the highest level. The fact is, they were probably responsible for the documents that were signed on their behalf without the knowledge or consent of the worst president in history of our country, crooked Joe Biden. That is Donald Trump, the president of the United States, announcing he is overriding pardons, and in the same post that he will also be pursuing, like what criminal investigations of Liz Cheney, Adam Kinzinger, and seemingly Joe Biden, tell me that was not a threat of him going after the former president. The thing that Donald Trump said Joe Biden was doing, to him saying that Joe Biden broke the law and allowing these documents to be destroyed, that Joe Biden broke the law allegedly by not signing pardons that he signed, that he communicated the importance of it, is just absolute absurdity, weaponizing the justice system in a way that we have never seen. And as I've talked about since Friday when Donald Trump went to his DOJ, and I say that very specifically his DOJ because when he was in the building, Pam Bondi broke with historical precedent for an AG saying we do whatever Donald Trump wants. It is Donald Trump's Department of Justice, the same accusation he made against Joe Biden that of course was never true but is of Donald Trump. It is terrifying. And especially what this means for any other action taken to hold accountable those who attacked our Capitol on January 6th. What that means for those individuals will January 6th riders walk free. It's terrifying. And Jasmine Crockett made this important point, really. It seems like a prediction at this point right here.
I have a term for what I believe is going on. I think it's just downright cruel. I think that you have people that literally do not have a heart. They're telling us that, oh, no, we're going to run the federal government like a business. Well, let me talk to you about the people that are allegedly running this business, because the federal government ain't a business. But let me clarify. If it was, I don't want it run like the president has run businesses. The president, it's my understanding, has filed bankruptcy 6 times. We don't have that luxury in the United States of America. But even when we start to think about Elon Musk, right now, as it relates to Tesla, the sales are down. As it relates to X, he has never made a profit since he bought X. In fact, the value of X is 75% lower than it has ever been. So if I am going to go look for somebody to run a business, I'm going to look for someone who is going to run one successfully. And before people start screaming and yelling about, well, he's a billionaire. Yeah, when you know the right people and they'll just give you money, then you can become a billionaire too. And maybe one day all of us will have that kind of access. But until then,
this is a terrifying reality that we are in, of those going free and those who will now be quite literally put on trial by Donald Trump. And we saw just yesterday, Lindsey Graham was Face the Nation with Margaret Brennan, saying that he thinks it's okay for Donald Trump to go after those who he views as his political enemies who attempted to ruin his life. Lindsey Graham said holding him accountable for breaking the law was ruining his life. Now, Donald Trump wants to ruin the lives of those who wish to hold him accountable, who work to hold him accountable. That's what this is. They are going after Liz Cheney. They are going after Adam Kinzinger. They are going after Joe Biden. Wouldn't be surprised if they're going after us. It is scary, but we have to continue to call it out. This is truly frightening stuff. We're going to every single day on the show. If you want to support this effort that gets increasingly worrisome every day to do, but is more important because of it, you can hit that subscribe button. You can leave a like on this video. And if you stuck around at the end, you can drop a GR in the comments. And until next time, I'll see you soon.